soldier of fortune. Gotta walk through a fire for what's important. The warrior's blood through your veins is coursing. Kill for hire, soldier of fortune. The whole world's watching every move. Take your shot, don't act a fool. All you got and all you ever need is one bullet in the chamber. Really needs to take your aim, but ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Do or die, you're a mercenary. One of a kind, that's your burden to carry. Go and make them proud, do what's necessary. Oh no, do or die, you're a mercenary. Now the whole world's watching every move. Take your shot, don't act the fool. All you gotta take your aim, boy. Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? One bullet in the chamber. Breathe easy, take your aim, boy. Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Now the whole world's watching every move. Still your heart so much to prove.
If it's Thursday, it's time for Mystic Racing League action. Welcome everyone, I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith in the Slingshot Racing Media booth tonight. We're bringing you race number 4 of the Mystic Racing League season as the Xfinity cars thunder around Auto Club Speedway. Expect high speeds, tire management strategy, and drivers searching for that perfect line across the wide, worn-out 2-mile surface. Strap in, it's time to go racing. Auto Club Speedway, nestled in the foothills of the San Gabriel Mountains, once housed the colossal Kaiser Steel Mill, a thriving industrial powerhouse staffed by 10,000 employees. Born in the crucible of the Second World War in 1942, the steel mill stood as a pivotal wartime asset dedicated to crafting the very steel that fortified the warships of that era. However, as the tumultuous decade of the 60s and 70s unfolded, the mill's prosperity dwindled. The poignant climax arrived in 1983 when Kaiser Steel, unable to weather the economic storms, declared bankruptcy, ultimately sealing the mill's fate and bringing down its curtain for good. In 1997, however, a remarkable transformation took place on these historic grounds as the 2-mile D-shaped oval track of Auto Club Speedway emerged from the ruins of the steel mill's remnants. The iconic 100-foot water tower, a proud symbol of the Kaiser property, was thoughtfully preserved at the heart of the racetrack, now serving as a distinctive scoreboard. The journey to this rebirth involved the meticulous removal of over 21,000 tons of hazardous waste, the recycling of 370 tons of coal tar, and the monumental task of clearing 1 million tons of rubble. To sculpt the track's contours, a staggering 2 million cubic yards of earth were artfully reshaped. Chris, cinema buffs might recognize this site from its most prominent role, the final battle scene in the second Terminator film with Arnold Schwarzenegger back in 1991. What are drivers going to have to do tonight to ensure that their race isn't terminated early and they have a chance to make it to victory lane at the end of these 80 laps?
Well, Ellis, they're going to have to be very, very comfortable with managing some 3, possibly even 4 wide racing around this very wide 2-mile D-shaped oval here. We expect about 80, we don't expect, it's going to be 80 laps, but we expect about 20 laps of fuel in a tank. So these tanks are a little bit smaller tonight than what we typically see. There are 3 sets of tires lying in the pits. Stage 1 caution at lap 25, Stage 2 caution at lap 50 tonight, Ellis. This is going to break this thing up into some shorter sprints until we get to that lap 80 mark when the checkered flag flies. That means it's definitely going to be intense from green flag to checkered flag.
Speaking of green flags, we promised we're going to get there, but before we do, we've got some pre-race stories to set up for the fans watching on YouTube tonight. But before we do that, it's time for a Slingshot Racing Media fan favorite pre-race tradition. Everyone, please rise and remove your caps for the playing of America's national anthem. We'll be right back. You're looking live from sunny Southern California. I guess not so much sun right now, it's nighttime, but we're here at Auto Club Speedway getting ready for race number 4 of the Mystic Racing League Xfinity Series season. Time to set up the race with some fun pre-race stories, Chris, including the point standings. After 4 races, these points are tight. There's a couple drivers I want to focus on specifically. The first one, Daniel Dow. He is your points leader with 2 wins. Won the first 2 races of the season last week, Chris. He finished 7th, so a little bit out of his element. Can he get his mojo back tonight, I suppose? Can he go for another win after having that winning streak disrupted at Phoenix? Another driver, second place, not too far behind, just 14 points out, Adam Holston. The story of consistency this whole season. He finished 4th at Daytona, 2nd in Atlanta, 11th last week, outside the top 10, but that paints a picture of consistency. Several other drivers vying to get in those top 3 positions. Bobby Rafferty, another driver who was fast last week. We'll have plenty to say about him as the race gets going, Chris, but 15 drivers here within striking distance. Top 10 will make it to the playoffs at the end of the season for those final races to determine a champion. Plenty of time left for these drivers to get their way into that hunt.
Yeah, definitely plenty of time for them to get there. And yeah, that's going to be a story that we have to keep our eyes on all season, Ellis. There's a long ways to go here, but you know how sometimes these seasons can go. You know, sometimes drivers will get on rolls, hot streaks, and sometimes they'll go on those cool streaks as well. So, you know, we're going to some very diverse racetracks this season. You know, we went from 2 very high-speed tracks to the low-speed Phoenix racetrack last week, back to the higher speeds this week here at Auto Club, but still very different than Daytona and Atlanta. So, going to be interested to see if maybe the same players are up there at the top, or if maybe some new contenders emerge tonight.
I think we're likely to see some new contenders emerge tonight here at Auto Club, Chris. Let's talk about how they're going to do so with 4 pre-race stories for fans to keep an eye on as they tune in for all 80 laps. The first one is an important one. Choose your line wisely. We're going to see a variety of different strategies, Chris. You're going to have drivers at the top. You're going to have drivers at the bottom. What's the difference? Why are drivers choosing to go anywhere and everywhere on the track?
Well, you know, it's kind of one of those old sayings, you go where they ain't. I hear a lot of drivers have used that saying over the years in real-life NASCAR racing, and the same applies here on the sim racing track as well. I think that we'll definitely see a lot of drivers run up high in turns 1 and 2. It feels like that end of the track is, you know, the top lane is a good bit faster, maybe, especially early in a run. in turns 1 and 2 than the bottom lane is. 3 and 4, I still think that the bottom lane is going to be the fastest lane, in turns 3 and 4. But, you can definitely still make the top work there. So I think that you're going to go wherever the driver in front of you isn't, so you can have that clean air on your nose.
Chris, I think this second story goes hand in hand with what we just talked about. Save your tires. We've seen tires play a role last week at Phoenix. We saw them play maybe even a bigger role than we would have imagined at Atlanta, but tonight's going to be a true test. You can burn these things off early. What can drivers do if they're going to save their stuff, so to speak, tonight?
Well, Ellis, this is a very rough, worn out, abrasive, bumpy, old surface here at Auto Club Speedway. It's one of the oldest surfaces in NASCAR racing. And so, yes, it is going to be very abrasive to those tires all night tonight. One of the biggest things that you can do, I think, we talked about the lines before. I think the drivers who are committed to running around the white line, I think that's definitely the easiest way to save tires. I know it doesn't seem right that running the bottom would save tires, but you're shortening that distance, and you're also, coming out of the throttle a little bit more than the guys who are running the top lane. So I think that that's going to be one thing that you can do. Also, just backing up your corner entry, rolling into the throttle, being patient back to the throttle. Those are the best ways to save those tires.
We'll be keeping an eye on that story tonight. Also, high speeds. This outside of Daytona is really probably going to be the fastest track we're at. Drivers reaching speeds of up to 190, 195 miles an hour. When you crash, it's going to be a big crash. The stakes are that much higher tonight, Chris. We're probably going to see some close quarters racing. One mistake can mean the difference between winning and finishing dead last tonight. Drivers are going to have to be careful. We're going to keep an eye on the handling to see how these drivers are able to maneuver these cars around the track. And one thing, Chris, we've been learning here in Mystic Racing League, we're getting used to these stages. This is something that we're not used to doing as broadcasters. We've always called races generally without stages, but tonight and the rest of the Mystic Racing League Xfinity season, we've got stages and points on the line. That's going to play an important role for these drivers over the course of the season. You see this in real life NASCAR racing. It's no different here. Drivers are going to be calling different strategies. We think it's about 20 laps on fuel, Chris, and that's right before stage one is over. So does any driver try to make it to 25 laps and maybe get those stage points by staying out and pitting for the first caution? You think any driver might go for that?
It's kind of hard to say, honestly, Ellis. I think that we got to wait and see. Those numbers that we got were for some of the drivers, So it seems like, Mystic Racing League is running a smaller fuel tank tonight to try to, spicing up the strategy a little bit. And yeah, hey, I'm all here for it. So this is a track, probably one of the best tracks to save fuel at. This track in Michigan, its sister track, a lot of times they come down to fuel mileage. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised at all, Ellis, to possibly see that tonight.
Well, we're going to have a lot to look at. We're going to be following a lot of stuff. We're going to do our best job to call each one of those stage breaks and stage cautions and let you know who finished inside the top 10 to get those points. But right now, Chris, it is time to grid up for race number 4 of the Mystic Racing League Xfinity Series season. Let's walk you through that starting grid and talk about where these drivers are going to have to come through to win tonight, where they'll be starting on the grid. First of all, the pole sitter, Bobby Rafferty. We mentioned him in pre-race. He's been fast all season long, Chris. We thought he might have a shot to nab a win last week at Phoenix. He wasn't able to pull it off with a tight handling car, but tonight he looks like he's got a lot of speed starting on that pole position. Right next to him in the number 69, Andrew Schoeb. Not going to have far to go if he's going to pull off the win tonight. He's had some speed this season, but the driver who's maybe had the most speed, Chris, 2-time winner in 3 races, Daniel Dow, starting 3rd in that number 2 car. Evan Janik, also a top 3 finisher atop the podium last week at Phoenix, is starting 4th. Nathan Nixon, who had heartbreak a couple of weeks ago, thought we were going to see him win after being the strongest car in the race at Atlanta. He's going to have to settle for 5th today. 4 positions to gain if he's going to get that first win of the season. Michael Madden starting 6th in the number 19 car. Gavin Henson's going to be coming from the 4th row, 7th for the number 39. Caleb Hunt, we've seen him have some speed over the course of the first 3 races. He's starting 8th on the outside of row 4. Aaron Espy in that number 16 car going to be starting 9th. To his outside, Zach White in the number 77. Meanwhile, Alex Pollock coming from right outside the top 10. That 92 car is going to be starting 11th tonight. Adam Holson, he's been the story of consistency, the picture of consistency over the first 3 races of the season, coming from 12th tonight. David Moyer in that 47 is going to be starting on the inside of row 7, 13th for the number 47 car. Robert McKay starting 14th in that 88. Joshua Gillen coming from 15th tonight, the number 10. Brett Wren, we're going to be seeing his heart rate throughout the course of the race. He's going to be starting on the outside of row 8, coming from 16th tonight. Reggie Kime starting 17th on the grid. David Wallace going to be starting 18th in that 08. Derek Jewett has had a lot of speed over the past couple of weeks. Going to be starting 19th in that number 45. I doubt we'll see him back there for too long. Christian Barnes, another driver with a lot of speed, but not the finishes to show, looking to change that tonight. He's going to have to come from 20th. Kevin Winker, he's going to have a lot of speed, fast in practice, starting 21st in that number 42. And then Stephen McComas, 22nd for the number 70. He's going to have to come from the very back of the field tonight. Look for him to make some moves very quickly. Chris, right now, Bobby Rafferty leading this pack around the track. You're the crew chief atop the box for one of these drivers. Pick one, doesn't matter. What are you telling that driver to think about as we make these pace laps around the track right now, getting ready to come to the first green flag of the race?
On these cold tires, low air pressures, these pressures are going to build in these tires as they begin to heat up right here. Just take it easy right here on this first lap. I don't think it's an incredibly loose condition, especially here at night, compared to maybe how it would be during the day here at Auto Club Speedway. But it's still, you are surrounded by a lot of cars. And Ellis, it's one of our top stories about choosing your line right here. This track is very, very inviting. It's very tempting to stick it in the middle 3 wide, or possibly even 4 wide, or shoot a gap up high or down low. So I'm going to be telling my driver to be very, very aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Be listening to that spotter, and try to take their advice and their words to heart.
Yeah, they're going to be... Some of these drivers actually do have real-life spotters atop the pit box, or the virtual pit box, I should say, that are helping guide them around. We'll see some close quarters racing tonight, watching Derek Jewett drop to the back of the pack here in that number 45. But these drivers are going to need every ounce of help they can get over the course of these 80 laps. And let's mention it, Chris, 80 laps is a fairly short race. Every lap is going to matter. Every spot's going to matter. I think you're going to see some intense racing from the get-go here. I think we might be in store for at least 1 or 2 cautions over the course of the evening. Right now, the 69 of Andrew Schob on the outside, the pole sitter, Bobby Rafferty. I don't think they want to see cautions anytime soon, at least at the front of the field. So right now, it's about time to go racing. Bobby Rafferty in that 7 is going to be the leader on this start of the race. Pace car is going to go ahead and pull off as we get ready for race number 4 of the Mystic Racing League Xfinity Series season. That green flag waves for the first time tonight. Rafferty and Schob off to the races as they cross the line to head down into turn 1. One car, the 71 of Evan Janik, makes a move looking like he wanted to go to the outside. He's going to settle to jump to the inside here. It's Schob, that green and yellow car, to the very top. Rafferty wraps that bottom line on the inside of turn 1 and 2. They head down the backstretch. For the first time tonight, it's Rafferty, Schob, Janik, Daniel Dow now in 4th with Michael Madden 5th. Lots of 2-wide racing. You have to go all the way back to 9th position to find the first 2-wide battle. The 77 of Zach White, that patriotic red, white, and blue car on the outside. A little bit loose, Chris.
Oh, yeah, definitely loose right there, and loose right there from the 69 of Schob. He almost tagged the wall right there coming off turn 4. That's going to enable the 71 of Evan Janik to look to his inside. Janik trying to shorten up that front stretch right there, go down to the apron, and we're seeing those varying lines right here through 1 and 2. Schob all the way up there, nearly in that top lane through 1 and 2, but Janik's going to make the pass.
Yannick makes that pass, trying to improve on a third-place finish last week from Phoenix. He gets by that green and yellow machine of Andrew Schob, slides into the second position. They both now choose the same line, the 71 to the inside. That 69 leans a little bit more towards the middle. Caleb Hunt, meanwhile, back in 7th position, has a handful. He's a sandwich in between two cars, the 40 of Nathan Nixon and the 8 of Adam Holston. This is a great little battle going on here for the 6th, 7th, and 8th position. Cars seeing Chris Carr's going all over the place here, watching Michael Madden try that high line out on Daniel Dow. Dow slipping back just a little bit early on in the race.
Yeah, he's under some pressure right here from Nathan Nixon, and you are going to see some varying agendas here. Man, as we got one car shooting to the inside.
Holston. The 8 of Holston has some trouble. He's down to the inside. Not sure what happened there into the corner, but he's loose. He gathers it back up. All is well for the moment with the 8, but there was a second there where I think we were all holding our breath alongside him inside that cockpit.
Yeah, definitely so. As man, back behind him, there's a lot of stuff going on right here. The 88 of Robert McKay. Here we got Michael Madden side by side right here with Daniel Dow. Madden up there on that top lane, and here comes Nathan Nixon in that 40. Nixon looking to, redeem himself a little bit from the unfortunate situation that he had to go through at Atlanta. He dominated a lot of that race and felt like he finished outside of the position that he deserved to finish in.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that statement. Had just a series of problems the second half of that race, many of them not of his own making. Right now, I saw him get the wall just a little bit there. Nixon, the 40, slips back as he watched Daniel Dow set chase for the number 19 of Michael Madden right in front of him in that red, white, and blue Ford Mustang. One car up the track big time. I believe that's the 39 of Gavin Henson, Chris. I've seen that 39 of Henson wrapping the wall almost every single time by for the first several laps of this race. Keep an eye on him. He might be making some moves. I've seen him come through the field just a little bit. He started 7th. I think he lost a couple spots, but gained them back on the outside as we ride on board with driver number 39. Chris, walk us through a lap here as we ride on board with Gavin Henson. What he's trying to accomplish here in that 39.
Well, it might be good to ride with him because he's running that top lane all the way up here at the top. Now, the top in 1 and 2, I feel like is a lot faster than the top is down in 3 and 4. I feel like it's really comparable in speed to that bottom lane, and in fact, at certain points in the run, it is faster than that bottom lane. But there is a price with that. It comes with wearing the tires. This backstretch is super, super bumpy, Ellis. You can see these cars bouncing around. They're not doing that on purpose. Just look at Gavin. He's running the bottom here in 3 and 4. I like that move. I like running the top in 1 and 2, the bottom in 3 and 4. We'll ride on board with him again here one more lap, Ellis, just so you can get a sense of it. We're actually going to put up the corner analysis and see how he compares with Nathan Nixon in the 40 just up ahead. His entry speed is very comparable to him. So -4 miles per hour roll speed right here in the center of the corner. And +2 right here on the exit. So, he's making up some ground right here down this bumpy backstretch, Ellis.
Making up some ground indeed. He's got 3-4 cars in front of him that he is chasing after, Nixon, Dow, and Madden, Chris. But there was one battle that was brewing for a moment. The 71 of Janik back in second. Evan had run down Bobby Rafferty into the lead, was within a car length, but then he dropped back to about 8 car lengths. I didn't necessarily see him put a foot wrong. He looks like he's having some connection issues right now, though. Andrew Schoeb's going to be getting a little bit nervous behind him in that number 69. What's it like to watch a car bleed out? And do we have the new connection flag in place right now for iRacing that they just put out recently?
I don't. Oh, he's back now. Yeah, he was gone. Oh, now he's gone again. Yeah, he's been gone a long time now, and he's coming back now. Yeah, that's. If you're Andrew Schoeb, this is
into the wall. Schoeb clips the wall. That might have been a bit caused by the distraction of that 71 blinking in and out. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, it is definitely a distraction, and you want to do everything you can to maintain your track position and, where you are on the racetrack. But there's just a little bit of uncertainty whenever that driver disappears. When he reappears, where is he going to be? Is he going to be right in front of me? Is he going to be side by side with me? Are we going to be making contact when he reappears? It is definitely it is scary times right there for some of those drivers around him.
And it created an even scarier time for Show because he was thrown back into the clutches of the 19 of Michael Madden, as well as the 2 of Daniel Dow. And this is a 3-car race that you couldn't throw a blanket over, wouldn't cover the whole thing, or it would cover the whole thing. Look at Daniel Dow right up to the back bumper of that 19 of Michael Madden, pushing him into the corner almost. And you can see the big head of speed that 19 brings to the corner. The 69 of Show slips up, almost makes contact with the left door of the 19. They're going to continue down the back straightaway, but it's going to open the door for the 2 as Shobe likely had to get off the throttle as he inched up the track just a little bit on exit.
You can see these drivers going.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was really close right there on entry to turn 3. You can see these drivers kind of wiggling a little bit down the backstretch. And what that is, Ellis, is that when you get really close to people, with as bumpy as this backstretch is, it's just, the car is porpoising, and it's just so difficult to maintain your line, even on a straightaway, that backstretch here at Auto Club, just with how bumpy it is.
You say porpoising. This isn't Formula Racing, Chris. Tell the fans what you mean when you say porpoising.
Well, it's just, you can watch them right here down the backstretch. Watch that 19 car right there, man, and watch them all. They're just all, the splitters down there, they're all bouncing up and down on top of that splitter, and yeah, it's a rough ride here, Ellis. We ran here not that long ago in our own league race, and it's a really, really rough ride down that backstretch. Show hits the wall.
In the wall. Takes a rough ride indeed. The 69 in the wall. The 40 are going to go by along with the 19 of Michael Madden. Show might lose another position to 78 of Caleb Hunt, who from 7th looks to the inside, headed down into turn 1 to try to take over that 6th position and climb just a little bit more. Hunt's already on the move, started 8th on the evening. He's now looking for 6th. He's not going to get it this time by. I just love a purple car, and I love when we have the camera on it, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see it right there with Hunt and Shobe. They both hit the wall down the straightaway that time because of, like I was saying before, just how rough of a ride it is. It's hard to keep that car going in a straight line. Battle right here for the 4th spot, Ellis. A couple of fast guys right here. Daniel Dow and Nathan Nixon going at it right here for the 4th spot.
Yeah, Daniel Dow, that inside car, the white and blue number 2. You've heard us mention it a couple times. Won the first 2 races of the season at Daytona and Atlanta. Tonight looking to get back into victory lane after a rough week last week. And by rough, I think we mean 7th position. Rough by his standards. But looking to capitalize on maybe not having last week's winner, Colin Bollinger, who's absent tonight. Maybe looking to get back to victory lane, but he's going to have some stiff competition to deal with. Daniel Dow working on Nathan Nixon on the inside. Nixon looking to see if he can use that inside line as he wraps that apron to try to propel himself into the 4th position. We mentioned, Chris, Nixon had a rough week last week, at Atlanta. Had the fastest car on the track, no doubt. One of the things he said, we talked to drivers, we got some answers to some questions we asked for them during the preseason. We asked every single driver their spirit animal, and Nathan Nixon, Chris, any guesses as to what Nathan Nixon said his spirit animal was?
I'm going to say honey badger.
You were actually really close. That was a good guess, and for the right reasons. It's actually a hyena. Okay, and
Nice.
that makes absolutely sense. This has to be one of the most aggressive drivers, and we say that with all due respect to the driver, the number 40, as he works his way by Daniel Dow there. I think he would like it. He's one of the most aggressive drivers we have, but that's why he's running in the 4th position. It's why he led the first half of the Atlanta race 2 weeks ago. This driver, he gets after it, and we can see he did it there to Daniel Dow, one of the toughest drivers on the track. Nixon made quick work of him there as they head down the back straight. Shobe also able to get by. Daniel Dow now started 3rd position inside of row 2. He slipped back 3 positions, Chris. He's one of the cars that has moved back the most positions. Wonder if we got some handling issues going on with that number 2. We talked about the important nature of saving your tires here. I'm just wondering, now on lap 15, just about what we think is 5 laps short of a fuel run. We're 75% of that first tank of gas being used. Five laps later, we'll have a stage break. Any chance that number 2 has used those tires up a little earlier than he would like?
Well, Ellis, I'm kind of going to go the opposite way on that, and I'm going to say maybe he just hasn't been pushing it as hard as some of his competitors around him have been pushing it. And I did see him run high at 1 and 2 right there, and I don't think that we've really seen him running up high too much. So Maybe he's decided here with this stage break coming up and, with that fuel tank, getting really, really close to, needing to be refilled. Maybe he's decided, hey, he's going to try to cut loose here and, let this thing hang out just a little bit here in the laps that lead up to that pit stop. That's one, I think that's a very effective strategy and one that I like to employ myself when I'm behind the wheel.
Speaking of strategy, two different lines working right in front of him right now, Chris. It's Shobe and Nixon going after each other. It's Shobe, that green and yellow car, who had been working the inside. He drops back about 2 car lengths now, but that was a close battle just a lap ago. They swap positions on the track, at least in terms of the lines they're choosing. At that time, whoa, here we got cars coming down pit road, Chris. One car in, several cars in. It's going to be led by the 19, I believe, of Michael Madden. He's going to bring Nathan Nixon along with him. Several cars hit pit road for the first time. What's the value of coming in first, Chris, compared to your competitors?
You can just make up some ground on them on those new tires right here. And this is another thing to watch right here, Ellis. I believe they have 3 sets of tires lying in the pits tonight. What are they going to do here? Are they going to decide to take a set of tires here or maybe just put fuel in it and save the tires for, a later caution towards the end? Let's watch these guys. As I think that the 40 of Nathan Nixon had to back up a little bit. Yep.
Costly mistake.
Fuel only stop right there for the 19. For all those guys.
19 is going to take fuel only. They're all just taking a small tank of gas here as we get ready for what we believe is about 7 laps left in this stage. Drivers cannot make it on fuel, but those drivers are going to come out here with no fresh tires, I don't believe. And we're going to see who else is going to come down pit road here in just a moment as drivers continue to work their way around the track. Bobby Rafferty, Evan Janik, Shobe, all those drivers will look to be the next coming down pit road. I believe we've got a couple more, Chris, on pit road now. Christian Barnes, Caleb Hunt, Gavin Henson, Aaron Espy, David Moyer, David Wallace, as well as Brett Wren on pit road, all coming down at the same time. About 7 cars, and it looks like they're all going with that same strategy, Chris. Roughly just about 36 to 37 seconds, or give or take a few cents on pit road. That is an indicator of a no-tire, gas-only pit stop. These drivers are going to save that set of tires probably when we have the stage caution, just about 5 laps. Now the leader coming down pit road, the 71 of Janet going to come down pit road. Bobby Rafferty, the leader, still out on the track looking to stretch that gas tank as far as it will go. But we mentioned Shobe on pit road, Evan Janik on pit road, Alex Pollock, another fast car on pit road, along with Zach White. Adam Holston, we saw him have some trouble on the first couple laps of the race. Derek Jewett on pit road as well. Rafferty comes down pit road for the first time tonight. He's going to be 1 car alone, just 4 cars, 5 cars now left on the track that have not pit. Rafferty's going to give up the lead to Stephen McComas, who started 22nd, now up to 21st position on this set of pit stops. Going to maybe, bend the truth a little bit as to how fast that 70 has been. But, Chris, it's got to feel good to be out front regardless of the reason.
Yeah, it does. It's always good to lead a lap, collect some bonus points as well. And, Rafferty's service is done right here. I've been trying to watch all these guys right here on pit road to maybe see what everybody has done. Here's Stephen McComas, our current leader of the race right here. I think he's going to bring, man, that's a good-looking ride right there, that number 70 Supra. Going to bring it to the attention of his pit crew right here. Yeah, I like that spec map right there.
It's a nice looking spec map. It's almost got like an Amico Dave Blaney 93 vibe a little bit from back in the day. Not quite the same scheme, but it's the same color mashup going on, reminiscent of that. So he brings that thing down pit road. That is a good looking paint scheme for sure. Coming to the attention of his pit crew. The only car on pit road right now, Joshua Gillen and Kevin Winker, the 2 cars that are yet to pit. They are leading respectively. The 10 of Gillen, who's had speed this season, along with Kevin Winker, Chris. Kevin Winker, he's been in the second and third race of the season, finished 3rd at Atlanta and 5th last week at Phoenix. We thought he was maybe going to have a shot at the win on those fresh tires as we watch his teammate Joshua Gillen getting ready to come down pit road. Kevin Winker working his way through turns 3 and 4 this time. We watch Gillen make his way down pit road. Another good-looking paint scheme, that number 10. Winker's going to stay out and lead this lap, get 1 more lap here. Every point matters. Drivers are awarded a 0.4 lap led. Chris, note, Robert McKay did get a black flag. It looks like it might have been too fast entering pit road on this green flag set of pit stops. That's the one black flag penalty it looks like we're going to have this time around.
Yeah, that's a unfortunate penalty right there for him. But yeah, it is early, and he has a chance to recover from this. Ellis, I won't lie. When I saw this car earlier, because it really does stand out, I really thought it was a Pepto-Bismol car at first.
Hey, Hubba Bubba, Pepto-Bismol, you know.
Yeah,
they both end up in the stomach either way. You're a gum swallower. Let us know in the chat. This is a very divisive topic. I know if my wife is still watching, she cannot chew gum because she can't hang on to it. She'll swallow it. Let us know, are you a gum swallower? You spit it out in the chat. Let us know right now. Riding on board with Kevin Winker.
Hey,
the leader has not come down pit road yet.
I was going to say, we're riding on board with him for a reason right here, and I think he's clutching it. You can hear him. It goes silent down the backstretch here. He's doing everything he can to make it to the stage break.
Oh, yeah, he's slow. He's about 5 seconds up on Rafferty. He's going to have to be careful here.
Yeah, this explains maybe why he decided not to qualify, why he decided to start at the back. I think maybe he had this in mind from the very get-go. But yeah, I think that the best thing for him would be to make it to the end regardless. Don't run out of fuel trying to win the stage. Just try to make it to the end of the stage.
Yeah, and he is going to be running on fumes. And Chris, I asked you in pre-race if you thought any driver might go for it. I thought the situation might present itself. And here's Kevin Winker kind of grabbing that situation by the horns, working his way down the backstretch. You can see Bobby Rafferty. He's seeing Bobby Rafferty get a little bit bigger in his rearview mirror, Chris. And I think Rafferty's about to go by here maybe in a minute. Winker's not going to be able to hold on to it. Oh, he almost slides up in front of Rafferty. He could not make it. That is out of fuel for the number 42. Just about a corner short of making it. He's going to come down pit road this time by. He knows he can afford to stay out on the track, even though we're getting ready to wave the stage break flag here to end stage number 1. Shout out to Kevin Winker for taking a shot, risking his luck. It doesn't pay off this time, but hey, it's got to feel good. Yellow is out. Stage number 1 in the books. Top 10 finishers: Rafferty, Madden, Dow, Nixon, Shobe, Janik, Henson, Moyer, McComas, and Pollock. Those aren't official stage results, but that's what we've got clocked at the line. Each one of those drivers going to earn a certain amount of stage points that are going to count towards the championship standings. And those, Chris, do make a difference.
Yeah, they definitely do. And stage racing encourages these drivers to race hard from green flag to checkered flag. So, yeah, we definitely like to see drivers racing hard. We don't like to see drivers taking it easy. So, yeah, it definitely adds another element, sort of like a race within the race, Ellis.
A race within the race. Hey, and the chat is also giving thanks to Kevin Winker just for taking a shot. Several folks in the chat right now, very active. Ellen Thomas, Connor Lyons, tower operator Sean Rita, all saying good job to Winker. Giving it your all, trying something. It made it exciting either way, just to see if Winker, as we watch him pass Bobby Rafferty here, had a shot. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight in the chat. We're very grateful you could join us for race number 4 of the Mystic Racing League season. If you haven't hit that subscribe button on that YouTube page right now, whether you're on your phone or your computer or any other device, television, whatnot, you can hit those arrows. You can navigate to that subscribe button. Also, hit that thumbs up button. Let us know that you are enjoying watching your favorite drivers race tonight here at Auto Club Speedway. Connor, you are on the money. We're going to do some trivia after we watch this set of pit stops here. Bobby Rafferty going to lead him down pit road along with Michael Madden, Daniel Dow, and the rest of the running order coming down here. A big old gaggle of cars. We'll watch that pit road battle closely as they work their way to the attention of their pit crews. This is going to be a big swing in terms of if you can maybe... Does anyone try to take 2 tires here, Chris?
I think everybody takes 4 here. That's what I think that I would do at this point. I think everybody takes 4 here and puts themselves in position maybe to take 4 again at the lap 50 stage break, and then maybe a gas and go there, in the final stage.
The driver's already thinking about how to work this race a little backwards in terms of the math on fuel. It's going to be Rafferty, the 19 of Michael Madden, followed by the 40 of Nathan Nixon. Daniel Dow coming out right behind him, I believe. Going to be a little bit... oh, no, actually... Daniel Dow on that number 2 is going to be behind Madden with Nathan Nixon right behind those guys. Chris, we mentioned it. Trivia. Connor wants it. Folks, we're playing trivia tonight. 3 questions. First 2 correct answers to each question in the chat. You got to type it out. Gets a point for trivia. 3 questions, 3 possible points. Fan on the chat with the most points at the end of the night is going to get a 1/64 scale Ryan Blaney body armor diecast. Cool item whether you're a Blaney fan or not. Chris, what is that first trivia question as we watch these drivers roll their way around the track? I don't think we're on the 1 to go. Yeah, those lights are still on. We got time. Let's do it. Question number 1. About to be on your video screen right now. Chris, let me know if I'm calling out the wrong question. Which iconic Hollywood landmark, originally built in 1923 as a real estate advertisement, was intended to last only about 18 months, but it still stands today? Was it Grauman's Chinese Theater, the Hollywood sign, Griffith Observatory, or the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Let us know what the correct answer is. First 2 correct answers in the chat are going to get the trivia points for this question. 2 more opportunities for questions later on. All trivia tonight is California Hollywood themed. Couple answers in the chat right now. We got Tower Operator in on it. Connor's in on it. Tower Operator, sure that he's got the right answer. Joshua Gillen somehow gets an answer in as he's working his way around the track right now. Hey, you got to go for it. If you're a Ryan Blaney fan or a diecast collector, do it anyway. You got it. Let us know. We're going to give you a couple more moments to get those answers in on the chat. Watching Bobby Rafferty, Michael Madden leading that pack down the back straightaway. We're going to be starting Stage 2, lap number 30 here in just a moment. But before that, I'll say this. The first 2 correct answers are in. B, the Hollywood sign, was indeed an ad that was only supposed to last about a year and a half, but it stuck around. It's iconic today. The Hollywood sign. That is going to be Connor, as well as... Oh, I didn't see anyone else in there. Connor's going to get the point.
Oh...
Right now, drivers... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we had somebody else get B, didn't we? Tower Operator?
Oh, yeah, Tower Operator got it as well. Right now, points for Stage 1 have been awarded. Drivers going to be looking to get more stage points here as Stage 2 begins tonight. Race number 4 at Auto Club back underway. Bobby Rafferty leading the pack, jumps out to a single file lead, but the battle's now between Daniel Dow and Michael Madden as they race down into turn 1. Both cars climb the banking. Dow swings it to the left, down to the inside. He's going to try to get by the 19 of Michael Madden. He's going to make that pass, but Madden is able to work some speed on that outside to maintain running position with the 2 of Daniel Dow. Looks like Dow's going to get the better end of this. Runs the 19 up the track a little bit. Just runs a higher line. Dow kind of diamonding that corner right now, Chris. He's got Nathan Nixon also working right behind him. The 19 really the biggest loser right now in terms of running order on the track. 2 positions he's going to lose here as we get this race back underway. But I have a feeling we've seen speed from Michael Madden all night long. I think he's probably just taking it nice and easy right now. Not so easy for the 19. He's going to try to hang on to that 3rd position, keeping it out of the clutches of the number 40 of Nathan Nixon. 1 car off the wall there.
Yeah, these drivers are using up all the racetrack right there as they come off of turn 2. As that track kind of narrows up a little bit because of the safer barrier. But, yeah, these guys right here, man, 1 car way up high, Ellis. That's I can't tell who that is back there in the back. That might be...
That is Christian Barnes in the 27, I believe, was one of the cars way up there. Barnes had just clipped the wall just a little bit. Zach White running back in the 12th position. I think he might have been high as well in that American flag, number 77. So several drivers taking it up the track just a little bit. Chris, is this a good strategy? Zach White finished 8th and 15th in the first 2 races of the season. Wasn't with us at Phoenix, but right now, White trying to claw his way into the top 10 in that red, white, and blue number 77. Contact for the lead. Bobby Rafferty, Daniel Dow, 3 wide almost for the lead. Daniel Dow, that car in the middle. The 19 of Michael Madden to the inside. Rafferty's going to fight back in that black and silver number 7 on the outside. Intense racing action headed across the line, back down into turn number 1. Rafferty up top, Daniel Dow in the middle. Will the 19 of Madden throw it in there on the inside? Rafferty gets left in the dust on the outside. Dow takes the middle to the lead. New leader. Car number 2, P1, here on lap number 33 of 80, approaching the halfway point. Michael Madden slides into second. Nathan Nixon right now to third. Bobby Rafferty loses 3 positions in less than a lap. I think he's probably just taking it nice, and he's going to climb the track. Look at that run. The 7 gets on the exit of turn 4. Big push to the number 19.
Yeah, he's all over the back bumper right there of Michael Madden, pushing him down this front stretch right here, Ellis, and trying to push him by the 40 of Nixon on the inside. They sort of get it together a little. Oh, Nixon maybe slides the nose a little bit right there in turns 1 and 2. Is going to get back to the top, and that's going to enable Rafferty to maybe look inside down this backstretch.
Rafferty looks to the inside of Nathan Nixon, the 39, not too far behind them. That's Gavin Henson. Looks like Bobby Rafferty maintains that inside line, continues to get as close to that white line on the apron as he can. Can he channel that into a pass for the 3rd position back from Nathan Nixon in that 40 car on the outside? They're still side by side across the line. The 7 leads by just a nose there. That 7 of Bobby Rafferty fast last week at Phoenix, looking to get a little bit better this week. Boy, Chris, these cars are going fast, about 190 miles into the corner, 190 miles an hour. And yeah, they're separated by a pin, essentially. Couldn't slide a sheet of paper between some of these cars at points through the corner, Chris. That 7 and the 40, what line do you think is working more effectively here based on what we've seen almost halfway through the race as this battle continues? Rafferty gets the better end of it right there, but Michael Madden not too far off the lead as well. 5 cars under a blanket here for the lead.
Hey, Ellis, I like to, you know how I am. I live and die by the bottom, rolling the bottom of the racetrack, because we got another battle right here for the lead. Madden looking to the inside of Daniel Dow. But, Ellis, I think there's something to be said for possibly running the middle or top lanes here with these shorter sprints with the smaller fuel cell.
I think you're absolutely right. The racing intensity has been through the roof every single one of these 36 laps we run. Look at Daniel Dow in that white and blue number 2 right in the middle, and that 19 given no room, no quarter to the number 2. Michael Madden to the outside channels that run to reclaim the lead. Bobby Rafferty going to try to take advantage of the draft here down the front straightaway. Does he make it 3 wide? No. You think better of it headed down into turn number 1. Michael Madden, that red, white, and blue car to the outside. The 19 sets sail, climbs the banking, works his way back down as he gets ready to go down the back straightaway with Daniel Dow in tow. Big battle, Chris. The number 40 of Nathan Nixon and Gavin Henson doing duel. The 39 of Henson climbs the banking on the outside. He's making that work all race long. I've seen that 39 not be shy to work his way up the track over the course of the race. We were riding on board with him earlier, and we're going to do it again. Jeeks to the number 39. Broadcaster's curse, Chris, strikes once again.
Yeah, well, hey, we haven't lost our touch at all with that, have we? Speaking of Speaking of drivers, we haven't really talked about this guy too much tonight. I hate to go away from this right here, but we got Brett Wren right here back in the 14th position, Ellis. And we got a cool little graphic that we're going to put up there on the screen. Brett right here is running our heart rate monitor, and he's at a cool 77 beats per minute right now. And we'll be leaving that up for the rest of the race so you get an idea of just how intense the action can be out here.
And let me tell you, that 71 heart rate, 77 now, is only there because he's not up in that front pack. I'm curious, once we set sail for the final stage, if he's up in that front pack, what happens to it, Chris? But this battle for the lead is hard to look away from. Bobby Rafferty now continues to work that inside, but he's side by side with the 2 of Daniel Dow. He's got Michael Madden right behind him. Nathan Nixon and Gavin Henson throw a blanket over now. 6 cars. Was that Daniel Dow bouncing off the wall down the back stretch? Bobby Rafferty now even with him. Dow looks to have the advantage as they head off now into turn number 3.
Yeah, right here, the 19 of Madden committed to that bottom lane right here. Henson committed to the top lane. These drivers right here. Oh, I think Nixon hit the wall right there. Ellis coming off of turn 4, and maybe he put Shobe in the wall in the process. Those drivers,
I think you're right,
made some contact there, and there's some damage to the back of that 40.
Yeah, I think there was definitely contact there. Might try to go back and take a look at it here if we can find a moment to breathe. Look at these drivers. It looks like synchronized driving. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is now a battle for the 6th position with the 70 of Stephen McComas joining in there as we watch what happened here to Andrew Shobe. Oh, yeah, look at that. That car took off. The number 40 looks like something just twitched on that car and sent him up the track.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, if maybe he had a moment, got loose. There's a lot of right front damage to that 40. I don't know if maybe he was trying to jerk the wheel hard right to get back up in line, because you really don't want to get freight trained here, Ellis. Now, that can be on that top lane. They can really drive past you if they get lined up. So I don't know if he was trying to do that. Maybe in the car got away from him a little bit there, or if there was some other type of issue. But, yeah, unfortunate for him. I think that it's really, really hurt the performance of that Ford Mustang.
Hey, Chris, we have been given marching orders in the chat. They want to crank it up. Connor and Ellen, as several other people have asked for it. Let's give the people what they want. We're going to take a moment to give you a crank it up of the sights and sounds around this track, as this pack of 7 or 8 cars look like they are not giving any quarter to each other. Hey, Chris, we're riding on board with Aaron Espy there, at least for a second. That 16 Celsius machine has climbed through the running order, Chris. One of the fastest cars on the track right now is that number 16 of Espy, doing a great job, up 4 positions from his 9th place starting spot, but he has come out of nowhere here seemingly as we reach just 7 laps shy of finishing stage number 2, the second stage of the race, and he's clear out in front of Stephen McComas. Espy to the top 5 for the first time tonight. Stephen McComas looks on, not much he can do. He gets a bit of a run off the corner, tries to work maybe a little bit of draft off that back of that number 16 Wawa and Celsius machine. But that 16, Chris, he's fast tonight. Aaron Espy, one race this season, 2 weeks ago at Atlanta, finished 22nd. Having a hell of a run tonight. Looking like he's going to top that as Andrew Shope, speaking of top, goes right by the 70 of Stephen McComas on the outside. Lots of speed left in that 69, Chris. I'm not sure we can say the same for Nathan Nixon, who's back to 14th after heavy contact with the wall just about 4 laps ago.
Yeah, definitely some speed and some nerves of steel right here, and some trust in your fellow competitors to put it up there on the wall like that, right on somebody's door. Really impressive job right there by Shobe right here, and he's not giving up. He's battling back right here. He had a great qualifying run tonight, and he showed that was no fluke at all.
A little bit of contact there, almost with Alex Pollock, and that number 92 sliding by Stephen McComas. Got right up to that back bumper of Stephen McComas, and you mentioned it, trust. Everyone knows what they're doing out here. No one's going to make any mistakes. We've been caution-free this entire race, besides our Stage 1 caution. I just realized I probably put the jinx on the entire field, but I'm okay with it. I trust these guys. And they seem to trust each other. Pollock has to lift out the throttle just a little bit there off of turn 4. Getting ready to cross the line, Chris. 5 laps left in this stage. Every point matters. And this is a little bit of a battle for the top 10, Chris. Every driver here is, I believe, in the top 10 right now. The 78 of Caleb Hunt is in 10th position. But one of the cars growing in their rearview mirror right now, Derek Jewin, that 45, he's gained a lot of speed over the last couple laps of this run, and he is running significantly faster than that pack he is chasing down. And we watch that battle forecast on the screen right now. You can see it is 38 laps right now, but he is running faster. We'll see if that changes just a little bit.
Yeah, we got some pit stops right here, Ellis. I think that was the 70 of McComas right here making this stop right here in that 70 machine. So these drivers right here coming up close to the end of the stage. Based upon the numbers that we saw earlier, going to be interested to see if anybody can make it to the end of the stage. One driver that I think might possibly be able to do it, I think he's been back in the back saving, is possibly Evan Janik in the 71. I'm going to be curious to see if there's some other drivers that, can do it. You know, Kevin Winker almost did it in our opening stage, Ellis. And there's less laps in this one due to the caution laps.
Yeah, there are less laps. I think, Chris, one beneficiary of all this very well might be Kevin Winker, who looks like he might get his lap back if they're giving away a lucky dog here under the stage brake caution. He's running dead last right now, a lap down, but he is set to potentially get that back as we watch several other cars, including Daniel Dow, make his way down pit road. He's been a fast car all night, running in the top three. It's going to be Dow on pit road. I see Caleb Hunt, Zach White, David Wallace on pit road. Stephen McComas also comes down pit road here, Chris. Several cars making what will be their next to last pit stop of the race.
Ellis,
we know they won't be able to make it on that final stage.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Ellis, but I think Stephen McComas has a penalty right here. He's been on pit road for 54 seconds. 54 seconds
correct.
in his box.
He did get a speeding penalty on pit road just one lap ago. Stephen McComas, who had been running fast all night long in that black, red, white, and blue Supra, is going to have to make the long trip down pit road again. Daniel Dow's made it once. He works his way off of pit road down the back stretch. That's been one of the fastest cars of the evening so far. Daniel Dow, two-time race winner this season. He's going to have company here before the end of the stage. Several cars going to be coming down pit road. I can see it looks like Henson, Espy, Madden, Jewett, Shobe. None of these drivers have come down pit road. Shobe having several cars he's working around on the outside right now. Looking what other cars might be coming down pit road.
And Ellis, this is the battle for the stage win right here. Aaron Espy has chased down Gavin Henson. I don't know if Gavin Henson. Looks like Espy. Is Espy out of fuel?
Yeah, He might be out. That's 22 laps on fuel, Chris. I don't know because we saw Kevin Winker. Wow, Jewett almost runs in the back of the 16. I think you are correct. I think that 16 took the shot, just like Winker did. He took the shot. Henson as well is going to have a problem here. Henson out of gas down the backstretch, at least maybe nursing it down the backstretch. They're going to be coming to the stage 2 caution flag here to end stage 2. I think Henson might have enough, but Jewett looks like he's going to walk away. Jewett's out of gas. He's going to come down pit road. That's going to hand off to Michael Madden, and Robert McKay is going to have enough to make it across the line with Adam Holston as well. And what a thrilling finish, we think. We haven't gotten official word that the caution is coming out yet, but it does look like it is set here. Close battle going on between Michael Madden and McKay. We are under caution. They have asked the drivers to whoa up based on the speeds I'm seeing. There it is, Chris. Stage 2 points as they run. Madden, McKay, Rafferty, Holston, Janik. That's your top 5. Pollock, Shobe, Gillen, Nixon, and Gavin Henson round out. Gavin Henson nursing it around there is going to round out, I think, unless Gavin Henson dropping just a little bit. Is that car out of fuel? Henson had to stop, Chris. I think he did run out of gas. That's going to mean that Daniel Dow is going to finish in the top 10, it looks like now. So Henson out of gas, came down pit road right the last minute there.
Andrew Shobe, Ellis, is not going to make it back to pit road. He ran out, I think, coming to the stage break. I think there's going to be a lot of drivers that maybe don't make it back around. Adam Holston's not going to make it, I don't think, either.
Now, I am curious here. I'm just looking at my notes. Shobe is teammates, I believe, with 5-Star Racing. I think that might be Kevin Winker is a 5-star. No, he's not. Sorry, I'm looking at my teammate notes here. I was just going to ask the question, is there any possibility that a teammate might be able to push Andrew Shobe around the track, but I'm not seeing that. Looks like Shobe's going to lose the lap here, Chris. And for this final stage, that is not a good sign for a car that's been running in the top 10 most of the evening as the leaders catch the pace car down the back straightaway. We're going to be getting set for, I believe, a set of green flag pit stops. Although I'm wondering, do these drivers try to wait until they're in their fuel window when the green flag comes back out? You think they're going to go ahead and take these tires here and take a short stop in stage number 3?
Yeah, I think that they'll have to stop in the stage. I think that this will probably be a lesson enough for them. And there's a little bit longer to go here, Ellis, than there was in the previous one.
I was wondering if they maybe come down pit road, get their tires here, but then maybe take a short stop in stage 3 for fuel only.
I think that's definitely what they'll do. I think that they'll pit under green. Yeah.
as we watch all these drivers make their way down pit road, led by Michael Madden, Robert McKay, Evan Janik, Bobby Rafferty, and Joshua Gillen. I know we got some Gillen fans in the chat right now. Shout out your favorite driver, watching them get ready to come to the attention of their pit crews here. This is a critical moment, Chris. We saw a couple drivers slide their tires. We saw Nathan Nixon do it earlier in the race. It put him a little bit further back in the pack, and we saw him have some trouble back there earlier. So even a mistake on pit road here by the driver could have a significant consequence on the racetrack. So we watch Bobby Rafferty, your pole sitter, slide into that number one pit stall. Couple cars coming off of pit road, I believe. One car is going to beat him off. That's going to be the 88 of Robert McKay. Jewett stayed out on the track. Jewett had just come in and I think Jewett might have gotten tires on that stop, Chris.
Yeah,
I think McKay, Janik, White, and Madden come off your top four.
Yeah, Derek Jewett came to pit road coming to the end of that stage right there. We thought he was sitting in position possibly to win that stage, but he came to pit road there because he knew he wasn't going to make it.
And I think Zach White also looks like he came to pit road a little bit earlier, 5 laps ago. I'm not seeing him scored as coming on pit road this time.
Yeah, some drivers
trying to
who
make sense of this running order. Yeah, I think it's jumbled up just a little bit.
Some drivers who came to pit road, under green in the final few laps of that stage right there, they're going to come out of this thing pretty well because there's so many drivers that were saving. They didn't get lapped because of the pace. They're going to be sitting in a pretty good spot.
Speaking of a pretty good spot right now, Tower Operator and Connor Lyons are in a good spot with the trivia, but there are 2 more questions left, Chris. Let's go ahead and look at that question number 2 for Diecast trivia tonight, giving away a Ryan Blaney 1/64th scale body armor diecast. Let us know. Top 2 correct answers in the chat. You got to be fast to get the correct letter in there. Top 2 correct answers will get a point for this question. Trivia question is, which legendary Southern California highway, often called the Pacific Coastal Highway, offers scenic views of the coastline and runs from Orange County all the way to Northern California? Is it Interstate I-5, Highway 101, Route 66, or Highway 1? What is the correct answer, A, B, C, or D? Get your answers in the chat right now. Joshua Gillen, Connor Lyons, all there with an answer. Got the No 79 in with an answer as well. Well, another lap will elapse. We'll let folks take another guess here. Get your best guesses in. There's still 2 questions. Even if you didn't do question 1, you still got a chance to win this Ryan Blaney diecast. Simply, if you just type a letter, you might even know. You might get it right, A through D. Take a chance here. The No 79 says, I knew the answer before you said it. It is my home state. Hey, we're not saying you're right or wrong here. We don't want to give any spoilers. You might be wrong. You never know. Don't give away the answer. But right now, got another half a lap to get your answers into the chat, Chris. I think right now might be a good opportunity to hear from our friends over at Whiplash SimCams, who have brought the beautiful cameras, Chris, that you have been using all night long. We'll try to catch an ad from them and then come back for the green flag start to stage number 3. We'll be back right on the other end of this break with some more racing and the answer to that trivia question. All right, you're looking live here in Southern California, Auto Club Speedway, Mystic Racing League, Xfinity Series race number 4 here on Slingshot Racing Media. Getting set to start stage number 3, the final dash, the final 25 laps of the race about to get underway. This is it. This is when it counts the most. Chris, before we get going green, we've got 13th on back, 1 lap down. I think they all suffered from the same problem. That was fuel exhaustion. They ran their gas tank out of everything it had, and they're going to suffer the consequences, starting with David Moyer. But right now, it's all about Robert McKay and Evan Janik getting ready to take the green flag to bring us under green for the final stage of race number 4 here from Auto Club Speedway. McKay gets away cleanly, but Janik in that black and blue number 71 gets a good run, draws a bead on the right side, the left side of Robert McKay. McKay goes high, Janik to the inside.
Janik
sideways. Can he hold on to it down to the apron? The 71, masterful save of the race. It's going to put McKay side by side with Madden. There goes Rafferty to the inside. Down the backstretch they go, setting sail down into turn 3. It's McKay on the middle now, right in front of Madden. Down there on the bottom, it's Bobby Rafferty. And don't look now, but here comes Daniel Dow, 2-race winner to the outside. He's going to push the 19 of Michael Madden to the lead down the front straightaway. Bobby Rafferty on the inside is going to have something to say about it as they head down to turn number 1.
Man, side by side right here into turn 1. There's Rafferty to the inside, looking underneath that 19 of Michael Madden. Daniel Dow trying to power around on the outside. Rafferty's loose on that bottom lane there, Ellis.
Loose on that bottom lane indeed. We've seen the same story from Janik looking to claw his way back there on the inside, gritting it out to try to gain the 3rd position back there. It's Madden, Dow, Rafferty. Now Janik into the 4th position. The 27 there, Christian Barnes, his highest order. McKay into the wall for the first time tonight. McKay with a good run going. He's going to have a little bit of damage to that right side. He'll keep on going down the front straightaway. Shobe as well as Caleb Hunt going to work their way by on the outside, but it's Michael Madden clearly out in front by about 4 car lengths right now. Now 5-6 car lengths over Daniel Dow. You have to go back the same 6 car lengths to find Bobby Rafferty in 3rd position. It's a battle for 4th, though. Evan Janik works his way by Christian Barnes, or maybe vice versa. Christian Barnes, Chris, that car has come on with a head of speed late in the race.
Yeah, and you know, I think that actually Barnes
go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Barnes made the pass on Janik, and I think that maybe he slid up a little bit too much right there and enabled Janik to do the crossover on him. And they're still side by side here a lap later, Ellis.
Side by side, a lap later, down into turn 1. That's Christian Barnes, Chris. Good finish last week at Phoenix. Looking to get even better this week and improve on that. Going for the 4th position on Janik to match last week, and maybe setting sights on Bobby Rafferty here in about a lap or so if he can claw his way up the top of the track. He climbs the banking, that 27, that silver and blue number 27. See if he can carry the run off the corner. That's Christian Barnes, Chris. Favorite real-life driver, Chase Elliott. Christian Barnes, that driver out of Texas. Atacosa, I think Atascosa, Texas, maybe. He's going to correct me on the pronunciation. And speaking of states, Chris, we got to talk about that trivia real quick. The answer to trivia question number 2 was highway number 1, answer D. Joshua Gillen and the No 79 got that. Gillen and the No 79 got that.
Here's Janik right here,
now
to the
60,
inside.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say
Janik to the inside.
Yeah, he's trying to make this pass right here on the 27 of Barnes. They get really close right there off of turn 4, but yeah, these drivers right here are doing everything they can. Barnes is not giving the spot to Janik. He is hanging tough on that right rear, not giving up the spot. I mean, Ellis, there's 20 laps to go. You can't give up anything at this point.
No, you cannot give up an inch on this track. As you see the 71 of Janik slide up a little bit, Christian Barnes still working that high line to his advantage. He'll get a clear lead and cut down in front of the 71 as they head down into turn number 3, trying to go after Bobby Rafferty. There's a close battle right now, Chris, between Rafferty, who's quickly caught Daniel Dow for the 2nd position. That time by Rafferty was about a 10th faster than Daniel Dow up in front of him in the 2nd position. Let's watch on board, maybe even pull up the battle forecast as they head down into 1. Right now, riding on board with Bobby Rafferty. You can see the speed comparison there. Seemed like he was really good on the exit of the last couple of corners, but he's going to lose a little bit there on entry into 1.
Yeah, Rafferty right there. They ran about the same lap time the previous lap right here. We'll see what it looks like right here down in turn 3. Ooh, a little bit different line right here. Looks like Daniel Dow is, I think you mentioned it earlier, Ellis, he's kind of got that late apex in turns 3 and 4. We'll see how that compares right here at the line time-wise. between these two drivers right here. Dow ran a 49.44, whereas Rafferty ran a 49.58. So yeah, a couple hundreds quicker right there for the driver of the 7.
Driver 7, Bobby Rafferty's got some speed, trying to get by Daniel Dow, about 3 car lengths back from the back bumper of that number 2 of Dow. They work their way down into turn 3. It's about 4 car lengths back to Christian Barnes. Evan Janik just 4 car lengths off the back of Barnes' back bumper. Brett Wren thought he might have crashed. He's just on pit road. I had a crash alert for a second. That heart rate's still around 87, so I think he's doing okay. Just came down pit road for a second, and it registered as a crash on my screen. Michael Madden continues to lead. Fastest car in Southern California right now is that 19. He's got about a 10 car length lead over Daniel Dow, who's got Bobby Rafferty not far behind. The running order as it stands: Madden, Dow, Rafferty, Barnes, and Janik. That's your top 5. A driver we've kind of alluded to much of the evening. The 78 has just been hovering around 6th, 7th, or 8th. That's Caleb Hunt in that bright purple machine, doing a good job right now. That Twitch number 78, working the middle of the track. Started in the 8th position, has worked his way up near the top 5, sitting in 6th right now, trying to get to the back bumper of Christian Barnes. He's got some work to do if that is going to happen, though. You have to go all the way back to 7th, just about 15 car lengths back to find Gavin Henson in 7th. Joshua Gillen, we've seen him in the chat, got that last question correct. He's sitting in the 8th position. Robert McKay, after a little bit of contact with a wall earlier, sitting in 9th. And then Reggie Kime, Chris, in that number 9, up into the top 10. I believe that's the first time in the top 10 tonight for Reggie Kime, that driver out of Bartsville, Oklahoma. Chris,
battle for the lead,
any
Ellis.
guesses? Oh, yeah, battle for the lead. I need to focus on that. Wasn't showing up on my screen, but here it is now. Daniel Dow to the back bumper of Michael Madden. Dow has found some magic in that number 2. Down the backstretch they go. He works the back bumper, turns to the left. Now he's going to work to the inside of the left side of that number 19.
Some close
Dow,
contact right there in turn 1.
About a foot between those two drivers as they work their way around the track. Close battle, Chris, for the lead. Dow gets it, headed out of turn number 2. The 19 is going to settle in to 2nd, but how quickly does the draft make a difference here as we watch them work their way down the back straightaway?
Yeah, this is a conventional downforce track, Ellis, but it does have some long straightaways, so the draft does come into play right here as Madden is looking back to the inside of Dow. Here comes Evan Janik down pit road as Rafferty tags the wall. A lot of things happening at once here, Ellis. Yeah, drafting does play a role here.
Rafferty into the wall.
Yeah, he did tag the wall right there off of turn 4, and yeah, it does definitely play a big role, Ellis. It is something that we'll have to keep our eyes on all night.
Okay. All right, yeah, Chris, it is going to be something to keep an eye on all night long. That 71 of Evan Janik working his way out pit road. Is there an advantage to be gained by being the first car on pit road? I'm looking at times. I don't even know if he got tires, so I don't know if there's going to be an advantage. But how nervous are you to come down pit road and be the first guy on pit road in case maybe a caution happens to fall? He's going to be in a bad spot.
Well, if that car is getting a little bit tight right here, getting the fuel in it will loosen that thing up a little bit here in these opening laps, just adding some more weight to the rear end. Everybody's going to have to pit, Ellis. I think there's something to be said for going ahead and getting the pit stop done, getting it out of the way, and being able to make it to the end right here. We'll see how it all shakes out. There is no tire advantage by him making that stop at this point, but yeah, it might be just a psychological advantage more than anything else.
I think you are absolutely right, Chris. Michael Madden right on the back bumper. This is a battle for 2nd position going on behind Daniel Dow, the leader. Madden wrapping that outside. Dow also climbs the top. You can see how close that 19 gets to the back bumper of the 7. Are you nervous if you're Bobby Rafferty with that 19 just about 6 inches off your back bumper going 180 miles an hour through turns number 1 and 2?
Yeah, it definitely makes you a little bit nervous, but, these guys have been around each other, a good bit. They trust each other, or some of them do. There might be certain drivers that you trust a little bit more than others, when you do any type of league racing. The drivers that you can race with and those that you can't. But these guys are all pros right here. They're doing a really nice job, and yeah, you got to try to maintain that track position and stay as close to your competitor as you can in case they make a mistake.
Yeah, I'm just looking at lap times right now. I'm trying to see if there's anyone that I think, based on the speed that they're running, might be trying to make it. They pass for the lead. Bobby Rafferty goes to the outside.
Dow
Massive run off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Dow, with a little bit of contact, gives up that speed and momentum, and he's going to have to look now at the back bumper of Bobby Rafferty. He's going to capitalize on that mistake from the two-race winner, two-time winner this season. He'll have to get his visor back down and get going and get back in that right frame of mind. That's Daniel Dow as he watches Bobby Rafferty inch away by a car length, maybe now 2, headed down into turn number 1. They're going to take 3 different lines. Chris, how dangerous is it if you're Bobby Rafferty to kind of make that diamond in the corner and come down later than Daniel Dow is, as we watch Dow right off the back bumper there for a moment?
Yeah, it definitely hurts, your entry to center of the corner speed, but off the corner, it's like, you're launching off the corner right there. As you can see, Rafferty sort of pull away from Dow down the backstretch right here. So it can be dangerous because you do leave yourself open, as I think Rafferty and Dow are coming to pit road.
This is a battle for the lead, a battle for the win, potentially. Dow very fast. Rafferty almost loses it on pit road, Chris. That's going to be close. We're going to be Dow does have a black flag. Daniel Dow, the leader, second car in line. Number 2, speeding on pit road, Chris. Critical mistake for Daniel Dow as they come down pit road. Too fast entering. Robert McKay also having trouble on pit road there for a moment. Chris, that is a major shift in the storyline if the data that I'm getting is correct here. Daniel Dow, black flag, speeding on pit road. Is that going to be a stop and go penalty, or is that holding him? It looks like it might have held him in his pit box.
Yeah, it'll hold right here. The car that we're looking for right here in comparison to Bobby Rafferty is Evan Janik right here. And here is Janik in turns 1 and 2. And I think, Ellis, he's going to clear the 7 of Rafferty.
So that early pit stop is going to give the advantage to the 71 of Evan Janik. Finished third last week, looking to do 2 better. He's going to be your leader when this pit cycle cycles out. Now, Chris, I say that with just 8 laps to go. I'm not holding my breath, but I think there might be 1 or 2 drivers who's going to try to make it on 1 tank of fuel those final 25 laps of stage number 3 in the final stage of the race. Barnes, Madden, Gillen, Kime. Those are the 4 cars out in front right now of Evan Janik, who is the first car who has actually pit on pit road. I'm looking through the field. You've got Winker in 9th. 10th is Andrew Schob, 11th is Alec Pollock, but those cars are laps down. I wouldn't have put it beyond Winker to try to steal the win had he been on the lead lap, but I don't think he's going to have that shot here, Chris. This is going to be a question now. Chris, Joshua Gillen, 19 laps on his tank.
He's the one. He's the only
He's
one
the
that I
one
think can
we
do it.
got to watch here, Joshua Gillen. I hate that he's probably going to miss out on the final trivia question we're going to do here in a minute or so, because he's got a trivia point. It's a 4-way tie atop the board, but here comes Christian Barnes. He's going to give away the lead to come down pit road for a short pit stop. Gas only is going to be the call for Christian Barnes in the 27. Joshua Gillen will assume the lead. He's the car we're keeping an eye on. That number 10, that Hubba Bubba number 10 pink paint scheme out in the lead right now, slyly moving up to the lead, not pitting yet, Chris. This is going to be interesting. Looks like Barnes is on pit road, as well as the 69 of Schob. This is going to be a barn burner to see if Joshua Gillen is going to try to steal one here in SoCal. Final 6 laps getting ready to take place from race number 4 of the Mystic Racing League Xfinity Series. That pink car is the one we are watching right now. 1 car on the wall, that's the 47. Not too far behind him, Chris. And boy, I'm watching the speeds on that number 10, and he is slowing down, running much slower than Janik. It's a 25-second gap. Talk to the fans at home about the balancing act that Gillen's going to have to do between speed and fuel management here with Evan Janik, really, who's vying for the win, about 25 seconds back here as we ride on board that number 10.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks where you can save because, you don't spend a lot of time on the brakes here, and I'm trying to listen here. Yeah, he is clutching it in the corner, and yeah, I think he's coming to pit road this time, Ellis. Coming this time.
There is the 10. Could not make it. Was watching that fuel closely. That's got to hurt. Thought he might have a shot at it with just 4 laps left in the race. Gillen makes that long trip down pit road. That's going to hand over the lead to Evan Janik. But Chris, you have to say valiant effort by the driver of that number 10, starting 15th tonight to try to nab one on fuel. It's been a good, consistent race for him. Hasn't put many feet wrong, made any wrong moves, but he's going to have to come down pit road, and now that throws it over to the 71 of Evan Janik, your new leader. But don't look now, Chris. Bobby Rafferty about 7 to 8 car lengths back. I'm watching the speed. That time by Bobby Rafferty was about 4/10 faster than Evan Janik. That number 7 has some get up and go in it. Does he have enough in the final 4, now 3.5 laps from Auto Club Speedway? What are you telling your driver if you're coaching Bobby Rafferty right now from atop the pit box?
Yeah, it's really, really hard at this point right here. No more stage breaks, nothing else to, to try to tighten the field, maybe other than a timely caution. If I'm Bobby Rafferty, I'm maybe thinking that I'm going to try to put that thing, in some clean air. I'm going to try to run wherever Evan Janik is not running. It's easier said than done, though. I have no idea how the car is driving. So, he might not be able to run that top lane because the car is, pushing too much or a little bit too free. Maybe he feels like he's best served right there on the bottom, and he has gained about 1/10 of a second here, Ellis, in the last lap. Whittling it down here, 3 laps to go.
3 laps to go. They set sail down into turn number 3. Bobby Rafferty now within 2.5, 3 car lengths to the back bumper of that bright blue and black number 71. The leader, Evan Janik, doing everything he can in the final 2 laps of this race. Race number 4 of the Mystic Racing League season. Bobby Rafferty now 3 car lengths back, Chris, trying to drive hard. New line for the number 7 of Rafferty. He moves to the top. He's going to try something different. Diamonds it down, arcs it down to the corner. Can he get the run off? Will the 71 of Janik have to lift that throttle just ever so slightly? It looks like the advantage goes to the number 7, but just slightly. Down the backstretch, they head down into turn number 2. They're going to be coming to the white flag this time, Chris. Daniel Dow a lap down. He's not in the picture. It's a 2-horse race for the lead and for the win in race number 4. Rafferty, big run off of turn 4. Janik throws it to the top. He throws the block on Rafferty. What can Rafferty do? Nose to nose, bumper to bumper here. Rafferty working that high line, gives it up early, but he's going to get it on the exit. Let's see what Janik is able to throw at Rafferty, who's throwing a haymaker right now. Rafferty going to try to bring it off the corner. Can he get a nose underneath that 71? He looks for it. Janik can't do anything. It's going to be Rafferty and Janik. Rafferty on the inside. Janik will have to take the outside. Headed down into turn number 3. Rafferty, Janik gets the run on the outside. Can he do it? Half a car length separating them. Janik, Rafferty. It's Rafferty by a nose. He gets it at the line. Rafferty is the winner in race number 4 of Mystic Racing League. Wow, Chris.
What a finish. 2 1/100ths of a second.
Absolute thriller.
Yes, 2 1/100ths of a second between these guys right here at the line, Ellis, and you can't ask for much more for a finish from other than that, man. That was amazing.
That was amazing. And look at the fireworks going off in the background. There were fireworks on that finish. But Chris, it was a great finish, but it was even better a clean finish.
Yes, it was
Neither driver was going to take each other out. Janik, Rafferty raced each other like true gentlemen on the racetrack. Christian Barnes is going to pick up the final podium position there, finishing 3rd in that 27. Hey, Chris, let's go ahead and put the trivia up as we try to bring our top 3 into the broadcast booth. 3rd and final question of Diecast trivia tonight. It's a 4-way tie between Connor, tower operator, Joshua Gillen, and No 79. Here's your final question of the night. California themed, as we said. What type of crop was Hollywood primarily known for in the late 1800s? Was it oranges, grapes, avocados, or barley? Let us know what crop Hollywood was known for in the late 19th century, the late 1800s. Top 2 fastest answers in the chat that are correct are going to get the points. This is going to settle it. It's going to be a close finish, Chris, just like it was at the line. 2 answers get in early. Couple other opportunities to get your answers into the chat. While we leave this question up on the board, we're going to go ahead and pull in our 3rd place finisher, Christian Barnes. We'll make sure he's on chat right now. Give us just a second to get this working. All right, we're going to pull in Christian Barnes to the broadcast booth. Christian Barnes, this is Ellis and Chris Smith in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, my friend?
Yes, sir.
Well, boy, you missed a great finish up front, but I know you enjoyed the view you had in that number 27. Great job tonight, man. Started 20th, brought it up 17 positions. Biggest mover of the night. It was kind of a night of ups and downs. What was the biggest challenge you faced on the track out there tonight in that 27?
I think saving fuel at the I think in the second stage I had to save fuel. I felt that it would be a big factor, and surprisingly it was. I ran out of fuel on the backstretch and was able to coast it to pit road, didn't get a penalty. That helped me a lot getting to the, I think I restarted 6th. And then from there I just had to stay with the leaders, and that was pretty much it. Just hope that they made a little mistake and possibly let me get up there, but they just did a little better on pit road.
Well, man, you did a great job tonight, and your car looks good. You had a clean race for the most part. I'm looking at your driver info, man. Best track style, you listed road courses. We're headed to Circuit of the Americas next week. You going after a win next week?
Oh, absolutely. I'm hoping that I can get it. I mean, I've been getting closer and closer to getting another win other than the Truck Series, so I'm hoping that maybe I can do something next week.
Man, we'll be watching that 27 closely after a 3rd place finish tonight. Headed to your favorite track style next week, road course at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Before we let you go celebrate that podium, any shout outs you'd like to give?
As of right now, not really. Just good win to Bobby.
All right, man. Shout out to you. Good job, Christian Barnes, in that number 27, 3rd place tonight. Go celebrate that podium, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. All right, Chris, that was Christian Barnes. We're going to bring in 2nd place finisher Evan Janik. We'll let you go ahead and interview him. All right, he's in here now.
Evan Janik, 2nd place finisher tonight. This is the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Man, you definitely put on a heck of a show there in the final stages of that race. We saw you make your pit stop, and we thought that maybe you were going to be sitting in a great spot right there, coming down there, those final 5 or 6 laps right there. What more did you need out of the handle of the car in those final stages to hold Bobby off? It looked like you guys were really close on speed.
I got really tight battling at the beginning, but what really screwed me up was I wanted to save my set of tires and not take them at stage 2 and take right sides when I pitted for fuel at 15 to go. So that's really what messed me up, because that's the strategy I was planning on the whole race.
Yeah, we were watching you, and we thought that maybe it was what you were possibly doing right there. Was it just a simple time issue where it just didn't work out for you to take those 2 tires right there at the end? You maybe think you couldn't make up that ground?
No, it worked exactly how I wanted it to. We only had 2 sets, and I took both of them at stage ends. And I was supposed to save a set at the end of stage 2.
I got you. Well, hey, man, you definitely put on a heck of a show right there at the end with Bobby. We loved what we saw right there. Really clean racing to the line right there. Man, we're going to Kokoda next week. Circuit of the Americas in Austin. How do you feel next week about your chances? You like road course racing?
I do. I have a lot of fun with it, but this is a new layout. We're doing the layout that real-life NASCAR is doing as well. They switched from the Grand Prix to the National Circuit, or whatever they're calling it. So I think the field's at equal ground. Everybody has to learn a new track, so I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Well, hey, man, we're looking forward to seeing you out there next week as y'all tackle the twists and the turns of Circuit of the Americas. Before we let you go celebrate this great finish here tonight, you got any shout-outs?
Thanks to superoilpros.com. They're not only sponsoring me here, but on my street stock in real life, and everybody watching at home. So thank you to them.
All right, man. Well, hey, we appreciate it. We appreciate you putting on a great show right there in the final stages. That's Evan Janik, our second place finisher tonight. Congratulations, bud.
Thanks.
All right, you heard from Evan. Now we're going to pull in the race winner by 2/100ths of a second. Bobby Rafferty, very, very close finish. Hopefully we didn't interrupt your conversation with your stream watchers.
No, not at all.
Man, you put on a hell of a show for them tonight. Let's start with that thrilling finish. You got him headed down into, down the backstretch. How nervous were you? Did you know you had it? Because he came back there at the final, quarter of the track. Talk to us. Walk us through that last lap, kind of what was going through your head.
I gotta laugh because, like I told you guys last week, this was almost a carbon copy of what that other league's finish was. Had to run the guy down in the last 10 laps. Only difference was we both made it off of turn 4. The other league, we both just weren't giving it up, and we both ended up in the fence, and I just limped across first. But I knew I had a little bit of pace on him, but the dirty air in these cars, especially on worn tires, gets very, very tough. And that's why when you saw him make that run around the outside, he kind of stalled out there because it got my car super tight and I started going up the track, but it also got his car really tight. So at that point, I was just trying to keep it off of him, whether, I finished first, finished second, whatever. Racing like that, I don't care if I win. That's the type of racing I love to have. So, at that point, it was just, okay, don't wreck him, don't wreck myself. But when we got off of 4 and I saw I had I thought I had enough car on him to beat him to the line, and I know it was close. I saw him trying to side draft me there. We were lucky enough to come away with the win. It was a lot of fun. It was a great race.
Hey man, you did a heck of a job. It was a thrilling finish, best finish of the season, absolutely, no doubt. We enjoyed watching it here on Slingshot Racing Media. We're headed to COTA, Circuit of the Americas next week. Are you a good road course racer, or is it going to be downhill from here next week?
I'm pretty confident. Me and my team, we actually just won the Daytona 24 this year. This weekend we'll be running Bathurst. We're as much of an oval racer and dirt racer as I am. My team has kind of drug me back into the road racing stuff that I did for a little while growing up as a kid. So I'm looking forward to COTA. I really, really am. Hopefully we'll have a good result there. I know there are some other road racers in this league, so hopefully have some good competition. And, we'll go from there, but hopefully make it a back-to-back here at the end of next week.
Well, man, we're looking forward to watching you out there. Before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about Ancient World Gaming. What's going on? What is Ancient World Gaming? I've seen this on the car all season long, and I keep on meaning to ask you, what is Ancient World Gaming?
All right, so, I am actually the competition director for Ancient World Gaming. We are a multifaceted esports organization. We do everything from sim racing to Call of Duty, Fortnite, Destiny. We've got guys that do, multi-streams, just random stuff. Like one of our streamers does marbles. That is
nice.
It sounds silly, and I thought it was originally. When he does marbles, though, it's great because you pick your number and then you watch the marbles run through these tracks. And
you're preaching to the choir here. You're preaching to the choir.
It's awesome. So, but yeah, we're a pretty large esports organization. I'm pretty sure we've got well over 25 members. So it's a great group. Our CEO Renee Miss Weeks and our owner Antonio Williams, who was actually a former professional football player, played for the Giants and the Bills. All great people. I'm lucky enough to be involved in it. I consider these guys family. So,
man, you did them proud tonight out there in that number 7. Great finish tonight. Before we let you go celebrate that victory, first one of the season, got any shout outs other than Ancient World Gaming?
Of course, obviously, first off, I want to thank Mystic Racing League for and the admins here for putting on a good place for us to race. The racing, as you've seen and you even just said it, it's getting better week by week by week by week. So, thanks to the league, thanks to the admins, thanks to my fellow competitors. It was really cool to go 80 laps, green to checker with the exception of the stages. So that was a lot of fun. Also got to thank all of our marketing partners, Next Level Racing, SoarDog, SimRap Market, Ryko Performance. We also just brought on Glitch Energy, as well as we brought on Abruzzi Raceware. Can't thank all of these guys enough for coming on board with us and supporting us. We have discount codes that we're constantly posting on our social medias. So go on our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Go on, grab you guys yourselves a discount code. Support the guys that are supporting sim racers in this crazy hobby that we have. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Bobby Rafferty, great job out there. We'll be looking for that number 7 on track at Circuit of the Americas next week. Go celebrate that win, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. All right, Chris, man. Great race tonight. We're going to be watching that replay of that finish for a long time in Mystic Racing League. That's going to go down in the lore for sure. Bobby Rafferty, your winner. Let's walk through the rest of the finishing order tonight. You heard from your top 3 finishers, Rafferty, Janik, and Barnes. 4th, Michael Madden brought it home in 4th position tonight. Gavin Henson, great run in that number 39. Joshua Gillen did his best to maybe nab a win there at the last minute on fuel. He's going to have to settle for an admirable 6th position. Caleb Hunt, 6th, 7th all night long. Great job for that number 78. Daniel Dow, Chris, maybe the biggest disappointment in terms of drivers feeling disappointment tonight. Dow running top 2, top 3 most of the race, had a speeding penalty on pit road, that final pit stop, which sank his chances of winning. Heartbreaker for the driver, the number 2. Kevin Winker, I think he might have taken a shot at it had he been on the lead lap to nab a win on fuel there, but he wasn't, unfortunately, due to running out of fuel to stop before. Reggie Kime brings it home in that 9, top 10 for Kime tonight in the 10th position. Chris, I'll let you cover 11 through 20th.
Yeah, Ellis, going to be plenty of Scooby snacks tonight for Reggie Kime right there, getting that top 10 finish. Yeah, a lot of these drivers right here, Ellis, we had several cars a lap down in this race, and that's really not indicative of their running position tonight. The fuel issue right there at the end of stage 2. We saw the penalty right there from Dow as well there towards the end. That's definitely going to hurt those guys, and hurt their overall finishing position right here. Robert McKay right here is going to finish in the 11th spot. Andrew Shobe in 12th. He was definitely faster than that all night with his front row starting spot. Aaron Espy in 13th. Nathan Nixon from that damage to the outside wall is going to finish in 14th. David Moyer in 15th. Derek Jewett going to bring it home in 16th spot. Alex Pollock in 17th. Stephen McComas in 18th. Zach White will finish 19th. And David Wallace will round out the top 20 finishers tonight.
Yeah, then 21st and 22nd, respectively, Adam Holston and Brett Wren. Brett has some trouble there near the end of the race. Holston had some trouble earlier in the race, had speed, but just had a couple issues cost him over the course of these 80 laps tonight. This kind of ruins his streak of consistency of top 11 finishes. I think he'll probably be back next week at Circuit of the Americas, though. Adam Holston, that number 8. Chris, man, great race tonight. We've talked about how amazing that finish was. This is going to heat those point standings up even more, Chris. Your points leader, Daniel Dow, finished back in 8th position tonight. Several other drivers were able to get lots of stage points. I think we're going to be in store for a mixed-up point standings next week. We'll bring it to you live in the pre-race show from race number 5 of Mystic Racing League. Next week, we're going to road course racing. We're making some right turns at Circuit of the Americas from Austin, Texas. Before we go, though, trivia. We asked 3 questions, Chris. Believe it or not, we had a 6-way tie for trivia tonight. And as a result, we drew a winner at random. And the winner tonight, Joshua Gillen. Didn't get that win on the track tonight, had to settle for 6th, but he somehow managed to get those trivia answers in over the course of the evening. He is going to take home that Ryan Blaney 1/64th scale diecast. Remember, we do these most every single week. We might skip a couple weeks here and there, but stay tuned next week for more trivia and more opportunities to win great prizes. We appreciate everyone who tuned in tonight to watch their favorite driver and play a little bit of trivia and have a chat with us in the chat. You're welcome anytime. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Make sure you get alerted every time we bring live racing action to you here on Slingshot Racing Media, and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. Every little thumbs up gives us just that little bit extra and bump, so your drivers appear in front of more eyeballs every single week. Folks, it's been a pleasure tonight. I think this is a great way to send it out, Chris. We're headed a little bit further east to Texas next week in Austin, Circuit of the Americas. Same time, same station. We'll see y'all next week from Austin, Texas. So long from sunny Southern California. For Chris Smith and Ellis Thomas, it's been a pleasure from Slingshot Racing Media tonight. We'll see y'all next week. Have a great night, everybody.